Hi, welcome to the Ultimate Customer Experience channel. My name is Cheryl Mays, and I am here with Tara Garaghty. And we are going to talk about just that, the customer's experience. So, Miss Tara, how are you today?
Oh, I'm so excited. I love talking with you. You're the kind of person that stimulates somebody else's brain. You get them thinking. I love talking with you.
Well, thank you so much. And I am excited that you said, hey, Cheryl, yes, I will definitely come on and talk about this thing that I love talking about so much, which is the customer's experience and how it actually helps businesses to remain sustainable. And customers being that vital asset that we all have, and either you take care of them and they stay, or you don't take care of them and they find somebody else that will.
And then they tell everybody about their horrible experience with you. So it's not just losing that one client, it's losing everybody they speak to as well.
Exactly, right? Because statistics say that unhappy people will tell at least 11 more people.
Absolutely.
Yep. So there you go. Tara, tell us about, you're in business and you've been in business for yourself for a very long time. So tell us how long you've been in business and what is your business?
Yeah, so I started my first business in the direct sales industry when I was 20 years old. So 23 years in that, and building a huge client base, a huge customer base. Then I started building a team, rose up very quickly in that business. And I still have that business. So now I coach and mentor other women business owners. I still have my own personal client base. And what was interesting is during my first 8 years starting that business, 7 of those years, I was moving to different towns and across different states. And this was all pre-social media, pre-online shopping. And so it really was, every time I would move into a new area, I had to develop a whole new client base. I could keep my other customers, but I had to find new customers. So I was constantly over years learning, how do you develop real clients? How do you go into an area where you don't know anybody and develop clients? Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, we have things like social media, and there's a whole different, ball game with that. My second business came about from my daughter is a childhood cancer survivor. Mm-hmm. And I went through the season I had all this personal development. I had all of this mindset training. And so when she went through cancer, we approached it really differently. And so from that evolved, not really intentionally, it was more like, when other people saying, you need to do this, you need to share this. And I ended up writing a book called Making Cancer Fun, a parent's guide, and started doing speaking and going to conferences and talking to people. How do you change a life-changing pediatric diagnosis to give parents a sense of control in a very uncontrollable situation? And we know that when people feel controlled, they have less post-traumatic stress disorder and stuff like that. And now now one of the next thing I'm adding to my plate is I ended up building a community. It started on Clubhouse called Hey Girl You Can, which is how we met. Yes. And the Hey Girl You Can community, right now we have over 35,000 women globally around the world. Wow. And we're designed to be the number one, the most positive place on Clubhouse, but number two, that when women leave a space, whether it's through a blog, a room that they're in Clubhouse, a live event, they believe I can. They feel a little bit more empowered, a little bit more inspired, a little bit more believing like I actually can. And that it's been really beautiful to give women a space and a platform to have their voices heard. And so even within that, there are quote clients, the members technically, you could see our customers. They have to enjoy the experience. They have to want to show up. They have to want to contribute. So all of these businesses, while they're very, very different, at the same time are all the foundation of my businesses and anybody's business. It's who you're serving, right? Mm-hmm. If you're not serving, then people aren't going to show up. People aren't going to purchase your product. They're not going to hire you. They're not going to take your course. They're not going to, book you for consultation. They're not going to tell other people about you. And if you fail in that customer service department, when you use the stat that people will tell 11 people, we would love to say, well, if you give great customer service, they're going to tell 11 people. And unfortunately, that's not what happens. If you do great customer service, they might tell 1. But if you give bad customer service, apparently they're telling 11. And it's so true. And it's the reason why it's so much easier to have a really great client and keep that client for life than to constantly have to go out and find new clients. It's costs more money to have to go find new people.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you said that, because that's where I was going next. Because so for you, having been in your business for years, and I think when we had a conversation before, you were talking about you still have clients that are 10, 12 years, that you've been dealing with them for that amount of time.
Yeah.
And it doesn't just happen, right? That doesn't just happen, because there are many other consultants out there that a person could have said, you know what, I kind of like you better, right? But they didn't. They stayed with you. So that just shows that you are doing something right. And the fact that, yes, it's harder to get new clients. It's harder to get new clients, but it's so much easier to take care of the ones that you have and then incentivize them to get new clients for you. So,
yeah,
you have a something that you said you do for your clients that's special. And I always talk about creating some sort of a wow factor. And when I say wow factor, people go, oh my gosh, that means we got to be Disneyland. No, you don't have to be Disneyland, right? And your employees don't have to be actors and actresses. But there are small things that you can do that really make a difference, that makes it memorable, so that when somebody compares you to your competitors, that they actually go, you know what? I like this person here. They really made me feel special. They knew who I was, which is one of the things that I always talk about, familiarity. People want you to know who they are. And so what are some of the things that you've done for your customers that has just, they've probably said, you know what, that was great. Thank you so much. I've never received this before, or something that just made them feel special.
Yeah. And it's interesting to talk about my quote oldest client, not age-wise, but she was one of the very first people I did an appointment with. And this is in 1998.
Wow.
And we literally were sitting on her dorm room floor. And I was like, hey, I just started this business. I have these products. Can I try them on you? And what's super wild is that we recently, in the last few months, did a Zoom appointment with her and her 16-year-old daughter. And I thought, who would have thought back in 1998, when you were one of my first people to practice on, And so, yeah, that you think about all of those years. And here's what people don't understand. You don't necessarily, in some of these businesses, it's not that if you're building a client for life, it's not the money you make in that initial appointment or that initial sale. It's that person, particularly if you have a consumable product, that is going to come back every 4 months for 23 years. That, and think about how many times I try to put my head around how many times I got paid for that maybe hour or 2 hours that we sat on our dorm floor, right? And that could be, even if you're a coach, you want somebody to come back and take your next course. You want somebody to come back and take your next product, or your next, your next book, or whatever it is that you're doing. It doesn't need to be a physical product, but when somebody has a great experience, they'll come back. So I'll share with you just some of the key things, or I would say simple things that I do. So one very simple thing is I mail out packages, whether those are products or what they are, we mail out packages. And I do this for 2 of my businesses. And whenever we print out the labels, I have now it's my daughter, hers is her job, or I will write "to the beautiful." So if I'm going to send Cheryl you a package, you're not going to get just a package that has a plain label on it. It's going to say "to the beautiful Cheryl Mays," right? So when you're like, ooh, it makes you feel good. Yeah. You want to think about what are the experiences that don't cost you money, but makes the person feel good. Even the package you send it in, I send everything out in fun, bright bubble envelopes, because think about when you get your mail, what's your mail? It's usually bills. It's usually white, manila things, and things that are stand out. It changes that experience. I wrap all the product in tissue paper. I have a friend who taught me this years ago. She said, if you go into Walmart and you buy white underwear, they throw it into a plastic bag and you have white underwear. Right? And you go home with your cheap white underwear. Now, if you go into the department store, let's say you go to Macy's or you go to Bloomingdale, they're going to take your white underwear and they're going to put it in a bag, a paper bag, right? With maybe a little handle. And now you have white panties, right? Now you bought white panties. But if you go into Neiman Marcus, or you go into Victoria's Secret, what do? They pull out the tray. They take that white underwear and they put it in some tissue paper and they wrap it up like a present and they put it in the little bag with the fabric candle. And now you're taking tons of Instagram pictures and you're walking around the mall with your little, it's like a gift. And now you don't have white underwear. You don't have white panties. You have white lingerie, right? And it's the same thing. But it's the experience that made you feel different and also made you pay 10 times more for that same pair of white underwear, right? You think about what you would pay at Walmart for your white underwear versus
Absolutely.
your highest store. So you're willing to pay more for the experience. So we need to think when we're pricing, is the experience worth the pricing? Even things we just recently started to do this. I used to send out emails to my clients on their birthday. And what happens? What do most companies do? Most companies send out an email that's basically like, happy birthday, here's this, go buy more, right? Here's a discount, you can shop more on my site. So happy birthday, but really buy from me. My birthday. And so I do a birthday program. My clients get a birthday discount, but we now send them a birthday text. And you can do this. There's so many, programs that do mass texting. You can schedule these in advance to go out. But my happy birthday text does not even have a link to my website. It literally is just, Cheryl, happy birthday. I hope today is great for you. Just thinking about you and wanting to celebrate you, Tara. It has nothing to do. Now they get an email with here's your birthday discount. Here's your coupon code. Here you can go shop. But the text has nothing to do with that. Every package, I try to put it like handwritten notes in those packages. I think one of the things that's great, and depending on your business with Facebook, is that you can see now a lot, if you're connected with your clients through Facebook, and this will not be relevant for everybody's business, right? But for some businesses, you are very connected to your clients through Facebook. You might be on their personal, you see what's happening in their lives. And I will tell you, every time I see something that happens, whether there's a new baby, a new announcement, a new engagement, a new job promotion, a death, a job loss. Even I remember one of my long-term clients, her daughter got accepted into her college of choice. I will screenshot that and I will send cards out. And you can use services. There's tons of online services where you don't even have to go to the post office. You just buy the card online and you can put your note into it and send it out. But I send sympathy cards out. I sent out, I said everything like, congratulations. I saw Samantha got accepted into the college of her choice. I'm sure you are so happy. You bond people to you. I've had clients call me when I've sent a sympathy card and tell me that I was the only person who sent them a sympathy card.
That's such a difference. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You are dead on, Tara. It makes such a difference in a person's day. And I'm thinking about when you were talking about going to your mailbox and you see, these are bills, this is, something else that you can probably set on the kitchen table because it's in that manila envelope. Yeah. But what's that purple thing right there, right? It's like, I had to open that up.
That looks fun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And some of the things that you've mentioned, they don't cost a lot.
Nope.
But what an impact it made for you and what it made for your customer. And you see, that's what the customer experience is. It's about that impact.
It's thanking people. It's letting people know you genuinely value who they are as a person before their order. I think it's also, I've told clients at times, like, I don't think you need this. I don't think this is right for you. This would not be a great thing for you to purchase. When you tell somebody not to shop from you, when it really truly is not going to serve them, they will trust you when you say you really do need this. And I think that when we are very genuine, people feel that. Think about, how do you address things in your email? How are you, what is your communication? I've gotten cards from businesses, and guess what's usually in the card? A business card. I never, ever, ever put a business card in a card that I'm sending somebody. If you send me a sympathy card with your business card in it, not only do you not get my business, but now you've turned me off, right? I might not.
Exactly.
When I say I'm sending a card, let me be really clear. There is no business card in there. There's no marketing in there. It is I, Tara, care about who you are as a person before I care about your business. And I think the more we can find ways to communicate that genuinely, the longer our clients will stay with us, the more they will refer people to us. And the flip side of that is when you mess up, and I mess up quite a bit, Over the years, there's been times where I didn't have an order, I didn't process it in time. You have to go above and beyond to make it right. And so there have been times where, like, let's say I sent an order and it got lost and she didn't get it. And it wasn't my fault. It was the post office fault. And I sent her out a replacement order. And then the second order shows up. I'll say to her, just keep it. Consider it as a gift. I'm sorry you waited for so long. Did that cost me money? It did. Is in the long run that going to save me money? It is, because I won't lose that client. And remember, we just talked about it. Costs more money to get a new client, right? So being willing to go above and beyond when something is wrong to make it right. I had shared with you, I think, Cheryl, we were talking about this. I had an experience where I ordered from a new company that's all over Instagram. People were saying it was so great and they do cookies. And my sister-in-law's sister, she just bought a new home. I sent them the cookies. Not only did the order come delayed, the cookies came stale and they were missing. The order that I ordered was not the order she received. When I contacted them, they refunded me, but they acted like they were doing me the favor by refunding me. Like, well, we can refund you. And I'm thinking, of course you would refund me. You didn't deliver my order on time and you sent me stale cookies, and which were not even for me. They were for somebody else as a gift, which made it worse. But they did nothing to really make that right. And when I said, well, she didn't even get the full order, they gave me a voucher for 4 free cookies that I said, okay, well, maybe I'll send her 4 more cookies as like a, hey, I'm sorry, the ones that I sent you didn't come out right. I go to use the voucher and they said, well, the voucher can only be used in stores. Well, I live in New Jersey and they don't have any stores in New Jersey. So I contacted them back and I said, well, how do I use this? I don't live. And they said, well, we will be opening stores at one point in New Jersey.
Wow. So hold on to this coupon for the next 3 years.
And I've been talking about this, and I have to tell you, I have a friend who I put something on my story. It wasn't about that. And she recently said, oh, a great place to go for something like this is this company. They do cookies. And let me tell you, I messaged her back and I said, let me tell you about what I think about that company and their cookies. And this was my customer service experience. And I will tell everybody, whoever mentions that company again. And it's not, here's the thing. Was it their fault that the product was late? Probably not. It probably was the post office. If they had, and I called them twice and I texted twice before I got a response. It was like 3 days later before I got a response. Every time I've messaged them, it's been a delayed response. So that's another thing. We need to respond to people even faster than we think, because now we live in a world where people expect an instant response. People expect that they can reach a tech support person with a chat box on your computer. Like, we want instant microwave response. If they had contacted me and said, oh my goodness, we are so incredibly sorry. We see that this is the first time you've used our service. We want you to have an exceptional experience. Not only are we sending out a replacement box immediately, but we are including 3 extra cookies. I would have been thrilled. And here's the thing. I was looking for a company that I could regularly send gifts to people. So not only would I have been thrilled with that, but I would have been starting to use them then every month for the other things I send out. I will not. So they lost not that order. They lost every future order that I ever would have placed with them.
See, and I think that's what
people don't understand.
That's exactly right. That's what people don't get is, to look into the future and go, okay, what are the possibilities here? Right? So you do this small act of generosity, but the long run is that it's gonna be multiple fold as a reward.
Yeah. And even asking a client when you mess up, saying, you know what, Cheryl, I am so incredibly apologetic that this happened. This is not the experience that I want you to have with me. Let me ask you, how can I make this right for you?
Right. Exactly.
And see what they say. And if you're genuine and you're like, what would I need to do to make this right for you? And not, what can I do to make this right for you so I don't lose your business? Because what I heard is, you just care about my business. You don't care about me. Exactly. But if I said, what can I do to make this right for you? Now I care about you. So it's also in how we communicate and our heart that is communicating. Yeah. That is right. Don't you hear that totally different? How can I make this right for you?
Absolutely.
How can I make this right for you so I don't lose your business?
Yeah, exactly. And then, the thing about that is that the customer would be honest. And because they would go, oh, wow, wait a second, that is very cool. So now let me share with you, how you can make this right.
Yeah.
So Tara, thank you so much for sharing this. So we talked about what you do for your businesses, and we talked about a bad experience that you had. Tell us about a good experience that you had.
Oh, see, now, isn't it so funny? Now it takes a little bit harder for me to think about that. I'm like, what is a really good experience I've had recently? And this is, I'm embarrassed to say, like, there's nothing that comes to mind right off the top of my head that I would say this was an exceptional experience. I
And you
do
know
think,
what? I'm sorry, because I want to
yeah,
stop you right there, because this is the thing, right? When people go, "Are you satisfied?" and you go, "Yes." Well, because that's what everybody is accustomed to. They're accustomed to ordinary. They're accustomed to just being satisfied. But when somebody goes above and beyond, it's so far, and you got it, right?
I
But
did.
it's
I just thought of
so
one.
far away that you're like, let me think. When was I wild last, right? When was there an
Yes.
amazing moment, a magical moment? So you got one. So here
I
we
just
go.
thought of one, and I'm so excited to share it because she's a woman business owner. And she owns a company called Lick Me Silly, and it's for dogs. It's dog treats. But she does these, they're gourmet. They are like really nutritious, no fillers, like safe for your pet dog treats. And I had said to her, well, I have a friend who's kind of got this new little puppy. My best friend's an opera singer. Her name is Danielle Marcel Bond, and she has this new dog, and his name is Poppy Squire, and he's this beautiful little dog, and she lives in LA, and the dog's got he's on Instagram and all of that. And I said, she's in LA, she's your right demographic. If you send me some treats, I will send them to her. Maybe she can take some pictures with little Poppy Squire and everything. And let me tell you, I think I ordered like $20 or $30 worth of treats, right, from her website. She sent me not only those treats, she sent me a bag of M&Ms with their label on it that's like, these are treats for humans. Then she sent me some extra ones and said, well, here's some extra for, I don't remember, it was like for your friend or for your dog. Like, she sent me way more than what I ordered. I was like, oh my gosh. Everything was packaged adorably. Everything looked super cute. And the little M&Ms for people, I was like, this is crazy. But let me tell you, I took pictures with my dog. I sent it to my friend. Every time, I will still, every now and then when I pull one out and my dog's like, because my dog goes crazy over these treats, like absolutely loves them. I'll take a picture and put it on my Instagram stories and tag them, So every time I have it, it makes me think I need to go do another story for her. I'm like, until I'm out of treats, I will post regularly on my stories, because the customer service experience was so exceptional. And, I think we forget that, that the social media marketing is free, and people will share on their social media. We were joking that there was a great post I saw going around, because in the network marketing world, there's people who are very like, oh, they hate network marketing, or they hate direct sales, and it's a scam and it's a pyramid. And a girlfriend of mine posted, she said, all of you who are posting your pumpkin spice latte for your first day at Starbucks, when they announced the pumpkin spice latte like 2 weeks ago, she's like, guess what? You're all social selling, but Starbucks isn't paying you. Right. And this is what it is. We all do social selling.
Yeah.
So whether it's the way you got sucked into your last Netflix, binge because a friend said, you got to go check this out. She is social selling for you on Netflix. And we do this all the time. In social selling, if we can harness the power of social selling, where we're having our clients share their exceptional experiences with us. Here's another thing that's important is, what do you do for referrals? I send, and again, it's cheap. I made a little thing. You can do it on Canva or in a pic collage. It's just a little thank you JPEG. And I can edit it with your name. And it would say like, hey, Cheryl, thank you so much for referring your friend, blah, 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 blah. Here's my gift to you as a thank you. And I will send her a text message. So again, it doesn't cost me anything. I'm not paying postage. I'm not printing anything out, but I'm sending, so it's free to do this. I'm sending you a text message with a thank you so much. I just want to let you know how much I appreciate your referral. Here's your gift. And I do a dollar amount, depending on what your business is. It could be a percentage off, it could be a whatever, but it's a gift for that referral. And that's important because I want to train my clients that when you refer people to me, there is something in it for you.
There you go.
More than just a thank you.
Yeah. Because it sparks motivation, right? It sparks motivation. And we see so many of these affiliate programs now where people are actually, you refer me, they sign up to your link, you get, X amount of dollars off, or however much you get. But, it's those things exactly what you're talking about. That makes it from an ordinary experience to a wow experience.
Mm-hmm.
And to your point, it didn't take a lot. And guys, it doesn't. It doesn't take a lot to make your customer go, wow, that was something special. And to make somebody ask, if somebody asks you, when did you have a great experience? It can come just like that because you're like, oh my gosh, it was just yesterday.
Yep.
But oftentimes we don't get to say that. So thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing this.
But think about how long that took me to think. I mean, check. It's called Lick You Silly Yum Yum. If you're watching and you have a dog, you have to go check them out. Not lick me silly. Don't lick me. Lick You Silly Yum Yum. And they are all natural dog treats. So Lick You Silly Yum Yum. Go check them out. But see, I'm totally happy to share how great this is and tell your dog loving friends.
There you
because,
go.
Yeah.
Everybody go to Lick Me Silly Yum Yum. Get your
Lick
dog
You Silly.
treat.
Lick You Silly.
Lick you
Lick
silly.
You Silly.
I wrote it down here. I've got to look at that for my dog.
Well,
Tara,
I love what
it has
you
been
do.
a pleasure.
I love what you do. And I love the message that you're spreading on really teaching people, there's so much emphasis on how to get the business.
Mhm.
And we don't spend an equal amount of time teaching how do you keep the business once you got it. And the message that you're sharing is so important. Number one, for business owners like me, right? Because we want to teach people how do you keep business. But also there's a benefit for me when you're teaching all of these other people how to give customers an exceptional experience. Guess what? I'm a customer. And I hope that the companies that I do business with are listening to your podcast, are getting your training, because I want them to give me an exceptional experience. And so I thank you, because I imagine if all the places I spent money at gave me an exceptional experience, what that would mean for me, right? So I love what you do and the message that you're spreading. And it's so important. I think truly more important than any other time in business history, because 20 years ago when I started my business, if I had a customer who was annoyed, she might tell a couple of her close friends and family. Now, if I have a customer who's annoyed, she's going to go to Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. She's going to tag me. I mean, that reach of that person. And you might think, well, she only has 1,000 people. That's 1,000 people
That have
right?
more friends too.
Yeah. And they share that post, and that's how things go viral. And so people have, and we know this because I've had, issues with companies and I can't get anybody on customer service. And guess where I've always gotten resolved? Twitter.
Yeah.
You have a customer service problem, you put it on Twitter, you tag them, you'll get a message right away in your box. Right?
Exactly.
So people know this is the power. I had a friend who had used a flower company, delivered flowers. The flowers were horrible. She couldn't get anywhere with customer service. I said, send me over the stuff. I'll put it on Twitter. It was resolved that afternoon. So
it's amazing. Yeah.
And your customers can do the same thing.
Exactly. It is amazing how quickly you can get a response when someone puts your information out on social media. Where, had they sent you an email, right, which they probably did, had they contacted customer support, which I'm sure they did, all of these places that you say, hey, when there's an issue, come to us. Because when a person goes to customer support, that means something in the experience failed. Right. And so now they're at customer support trying to remedy the situation. And now there's even more frustration because customer support isn't responding. But initially, when you were placing the order, everything was so quick and you were so quick to, debit my card or, do that monetary transaction. And now it's like pulling teeth to try to get someone to help me with this situation that I'm in. And so, equally as important as the experience itself is how are your folks handling the service as well as the support factor. And that could be a whole nother segment, which we will probably do, customer support. But you know what? The bottom line is this: to create a wow, exceptional, lasting effect, it takes a few moments. It takes a few moments to make somebody's day, to brighten somebody's day to whereas they want to promote you, share your business with their friends, families, and colleagues. And that's what you want, because that's the sustainability. That's that sustainability factor for your business. And so continue to follow me on YouTube, Rise and Shine CF, Instagram, Rise and Shine CF. definitely make a comment in this. If you're interested in getting in touch with Miss Tara Garaghty, make a comment and we will make sure that it gets to you. And Tara, how can they reach you? Because you've got some amazing products too.
So really the best way to find me is through heygirlyoucan.com. And so if you go there, there's a contact me button. If you have a business or you're wanting to connect with more women, there's a way to connect through our community. And that, of course, we'll link you to Instagram and all those good places. But yep, heygirlyoucan.com. And if you get on our email list, you'll kind of hear what's going on in our thing. I also have a free, we didn't talk too much about this, but I do a lot of mindset work. And I have a free 5-day course. It's about how to build your mental strength, your mental resiliency. And I think in business, mental resiliency is really not just in life, in business, because how do you keep going when, life is hard? And anybody who wants to check that out, you can grab that on the website too. And you get a video every day. And I basically teach the skills that I was developing when my daughter was going through cancer, I was going through domestic violence, and I was still trying to keep things together and my life together and not fall apart from that. So if anybody needs that, it is my gift to you.
There you go, heygirlyoucan.com. And then always on Clubhouse. You can connect with her on Clubhouse. I'm one of the mods in one of the rooms that are under the Hey Girl You Can Club. So always an opportunity to connect with Miss Tara and see her on Instagram and all the powerful messages that she sends. And even more important is to remember, if you wow your customers, they will come back and they will bring others. Have an amazing day. Thank you.